Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. An early access game that I've been quite looking forward to, anticipating this year, is Subnautica 2. I played Subnautica, played the original from early access all the way through. Never beat the game, but always find myself going back to it because I'm absolutely terrified of going underwater and open water, and it's just Jaws really left a mark on me, despite the fact that it absolutely terrifies me. I still am interested to attempt to play one day, playing Subnautica in VR. And it will be live streamed when I accomplish it. It will be a big day, an announcement for everyone to come and laugh and point and laugh as I nope out of the damn game because I wet myself. But I digress. Been looking forward to Subnautica 2. I played the second Frozen Wasteland game, but it wasn't open world sandboxy enough for me. I find myself always going back to these open world sandbox survival type games over and over again. Again, Subnautica being one of them. I know it's a video game, but it still terrifies the hell out of me, gets my adrenaline going, gets me very exciting. Always that first encounter with a Leviathan. But Subnautica 2 was supposed to go into early access, well, I believe in June. And then now it's been delayed till 2026. And apparently with Krafton Studios, Krafton? Purchasing Unknown Worlds, all kinds of mess has been going on. And I'm going to do my best to put this into some sort of orderly fashion. But if you've watched any of my videos and hung around with me long enough, you know that ain't going to happen. Over here, WCCF Tech. Bless this website. Bless David for putting a whole bunch of articles in a nice orderly fashion for me to follow over here. I'll put a link in the description. They might just become my favorite video game information site. But starts with the delay confirmed. Actually, it starts over here. The Subnautica 2 development team. The two leads just got let go. They just fired them, all three of them. Where we got here? Originally, man, we'll go to this little what is this? Little recap. We'll go over it a little bit here. Game was originally meant to come out in June 2025. That didn't happen. Earlier this month, Krafton replaced Unknown World studio leadership. Charlie Cleveland, Ted Gill, Max McGuire, with industry veteran Steve Papoutsis. Yes. Summarily let go, fired, shit canned, off with you. We wish you the best of luck. We've heard it all before. Happens all the time. Why did it happen this time? Well, that's when the information came out that Subnautica 2 was going to be delayed till 2026. Now, this was an interesting thing because apparently Krafton had an agreement with Unknown Worlds between 2021. Let's see where I got it. Not influenced by any sort of contractual obligation. I had it. There we go. There was an agreement financially that Unknown Worlds was going to hit a revenue target by 2025, and the studio, Unknown Worlds, would get a nice little $250 million bonus. Well, apparently a lot of the... Where we got here? Would Subnautica 2 push back to 2026? Members of the team at Unknown Worlds feel that the revenue goals it was meant to hit between 2021 and 2025 are now unattainable. Very interesting. Krafton gave the excuse that they wanted more content in the early access portion of the game, except that Unknown Worlds team is claiming that their internal testing, and we're going to go watch this little snippet right here as well. The Unknown Worlds people were saying that no, there was enough there for people to get started, show some interest, 2 separate biomes, lots of crafting available. So who's telling the truth? Who is lying? Let's check out this little snippet right here. Is this
14 years of flight to your new home on Caesura?
Looks good to me. Now, of course, let me go ahead and pause this. We've seen enough of these little slice of life sections of games to know, take it with a grain of salt. But when you're about to hit early access, I don't know. The games, we know what to expect from early access games. Very little, half the time. But if you're able to build a base and research creatures and all that other stuff, much the same like Subnautica, like the original, you just give me new creatures and new builds and stuff, new ways to survive. New planet to explore. You'll pique my interest.
Nurture your
How much
dreams.
of this is going to be real?
Take a deep breath. When you wake up, your
Ooh,
new life begins.
just as colorful. Got the same technology as the first one. Got new creatures. I like that. That's different. Okay. It's the same but not. And you notice there we got multiplayer. Got 4 people swimming up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just in that scene alone. That definitely piques my interest. I can be terrified underwater, and I won't be alone. Other people will hear my screams of terror. I like the new bases. I like the shapes of them. I don't mind the two blockiness, but heck. Not too bad. Some people would complain, it's just more of the same, but is it really? I know one of the things the developers were saying that you will not actually be able to kill any of the Leviathans, which, okay, I guess that's fine, but you're definitely going to have the need to scare them away. So this is what's available in the game at early access. This is what you can do, what you can find. I don't know. That leads me personally to believe that there's enough there to keep me going for months at a time. So the idea that Krafton wasn't pleased, it needed more, so therefore they just had to delay the game till next year. Unfortunately, you get to miss on that $250 million bonus. But now, where else are we in the timeline? Reported was delayed. Okay. The delay was subsequently confirmed. However, Krafton claims that it was not at all influenced by financial or contractual considerations because, of course, that's what they're going to claim. Just know that. Shortly after, the Korean publisher attacked the former leadership directly, stating they had abandoned their responsibilities. And that's what this little article said. They went off and did other projects. They weren't interested in fulfilling their obligations. But again, I said before, other members of the studio, I forgot, Unknown Worlds. Look, my brain it's a record player that skips constantly, okay? I'm lucky if I remember to wake up in the morning. Other developers, other members of the studio at Unknown Worlds felt the game was ready. Sure, give it a go. Believe me, Subnautica fans will buy it. I'm one of them. Maybe not the second one. Just too much story. I think, how do you suffer from too much story? Huh. But here we are. Studio leads would have allegedly received 90%. Where was that one? Let's go ahead and check that one out. Krafton also claims, here's the snippet. They claim that 90% of the $250 million bonus was going straight to the 3 co-founders. Well, I mean, whether you like it or not, here's what I have to say about these things. It's a contract. If you agree to the contract, well, then you agreed to the contract. If the bonus goes to a certain place, don't complain because the bigwig at the studio has a golden parachute. Complain that the contract that was signed, that everyone agreed to, put that golden parachute in there. Okay? Let's do that. But here's the quote. Let's see. With the exception that they would demonstrate leadership and active involvement. Of course, Krafton can claim that they weren't actively involved as much as they want to, just as an out in order to get rid of them. Big studios do that. Involvement in the development of Subnautica 2. However, regrettably, the former leadership abandoned their responsibilities and trusted to them because we say so. Subnautica 2 was originally planned for an early access launch in early 2024. It's the first I heard of that. But the timeline has since been significantly delayed. A year, which, if only. Krafton made multiple requests to Charlie and Max to resume their roles as game director and technical director, prove it, respectively, but both declined to do so. Well, I'm sure you have documentation for that. In particular, following the failure of Moonbreaker, Krafton asked Charlie to devote himself to the development of Subnautica 2. However, instead of participating in the game development, he chose to focus on a personal film project. Again, I'm sure you have receipts, but yeah, we're never going to see him. It's a big company. Grafton believes that the absence of core leadership has resulted in repeated confusion in direction, that the other members of studio at Unknown Worlds disagrees with you, and significant delays in the overall project schedule. The current early access version also falls short in terms of content volume. It's an early access game. There's always a content volume problem, always will be. We are deeply disappointed by the former leadership's conduct, and above all, we feel a profound sense of betrayal, poor pitiful you, by their failure to honor the trust placed in them by our fans. See, guys, it wasn't our fault, right? Also, with the initial report on Bloomberg, author Jason Schreier added that per documentation he received regarding the $250 million bonus, 10% of it was to be allocated between 40 members of Unknown World Development Team, all to receive varying amounts, blah, 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 blah. Jason Schreier gets something right. And he wasn't waiting on a book to do it. Anyway, let's get back to this one, because Subnautica 2 leak document allegedly, again, it's a leak, allegedly shows why Crafton delayed the game. So here we go. Some Reddit user said, take the salt with a grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen. It was leaked on Reddit. So we go through room of control. Internal Crafton document that shows exactly why the publisher didn't want the game to launch. In the current state, Subnautica 2 lacked the level of polish and market impact required to drive IP growth. You don't understand gamers all that much. Let us build. Let us do our thing, and we will decide. I do have a feeling if they'd have launched Subnautica 2 and that little gameplay teaser is what you were able to do, I think it would have done okay. As long as you're doing regular updates, I think it'd have done just fine. But hey, what do I know? Document also adds that content was removed from the original plan for the early access launch. But why would you remove content if you're saying there's not enough, such as 2 biomes, 1 type of Leviathan, certain creatures, several tools, about 6 hours, because I know how to talk, of narrative content, even the character customization figure. Do you really need character customization right out the gate in early access? Add that later, or add that first off. If it's done, it's done. Final recommendations proposed to launch with an MVP level, yada, yada. What do we got? Basically, Crafton highlighted that the current version of Subnautica 2 wouldn't make users happy. We're really easy to make happy, guys. Really. Thus, the need for the delay to add more content. Okay, so what we got here? How can I read that? Biomes compared to Q2, 2 biomes removed. Character progression. Key reduction in changes. Deep start added. Existing biomods split into 3 separate functions. 1 type of Leviathan removed. Compared to the original planned EA launch specifications, the current target content, reading this stuff at the bottom over here, volume has been reduced or adjusted across various elements such as biomes, creatures, equipment progression, and features. Due to a gap between the current state and the content volume assumed during the initial launch planning, it is necessary to reassess the release timeline and roadmap. Or you could just dump it on everybody and say, hey, here's what's coming. It's almost similar to, I guess, when companies release games and then remove content in order to sell that as an expansion pack. Just do the same here. If the content was removed, if you remove 2 biomes, a Leviathan, character customization, you put that at the beginning of your roadmap. And you'd be upfront about it. Hey, we took this out, but this is the next thing we're working on. You'd be surprised at how happy that makes gamers feel. Basically, Crafton highlighted the current version of Subnautica 2 wouldn't make users happy. Again, you'd be surprised. Former Unknown Worlds executives aren't taking those accusations lying down. The accusations of, you neglected your job. Cleveland comes along, and we're going to go ahead and check out his statement right there on Twitter. Charlie Cleveland has a little something to say about what Crafton Studios, or Crafton Korea, whatever, has said. So let's check this out. It continues to be an explosive and surreal time for the Subnautica team and community. None of this is what we wanted. I'm sure getting fired is definitely not what you wanted. But we truly appreciate the amazing support we've gotten from everyone. It means a lot to us, especially now. As I wrote last week, we know in our souls that the game is ready for early access. That's how we roll. And we'd like nothing more than for you to play it. So the devs, everyone at the studio involved, believed beyond a shadow of a doubt in their hearts that the game was ready for early access. They should be familiar with that because Subnautica 1 was in early access and the Subnautica sequel-ish 1.5 or whatever. I'm sure that one went into early access too, huh? Before it was complete. So they're familiar with what will make players happy in early access. Crafton disagrees. Charlie agrees. Well, yeah. But it's not currently under our control. Yeah, it's because you sold your studio. We've now filed a lawsuit against Crafton. The details should eventually become at least mostly public. You all deserve the full story. Suing a multi-billion-dollar company in a painfully public and possibly protracted way was certainly not on my bucket list. Well, if you've got receipts to back it up and they are, well, you can prove they're lying. Especially when they delay the game speculatively to avoid paying you your bonus. It's a big deal for some people. But this needs to be made right. Subnautica has been my life's work, and I would never willingly abandon it or the amazing team that has poured their hearts into it. As for the earn-out, the idea that Max, Ted, and I wanted to keep it all for ourselves is totally untrue. Well, again, hindsight's 2020, can't prove it one way or another. So, trust me, bro. I'm in this industry because I love it. Not for riches, but it helps, I'm sure. Historically, we've always shared our profits with the team and did the same when we sold the studio. You can be damn sure we'll continue with the earn-out bonus as well. They deserve it for all their incredible work trying to get this great game in your hands. Stay tuned, Charlie. And for obvious reasons, he restricted because, so this guy logged the comments. Well, sometimes you have to because at one point, people are going to talk. Former Unknown Worlds executives aren't taking that lying down. Yes, we filed a lawsuit. Cleveland denied. So that's where we're sitting. This is a rather interesting thing. I should have probably read this entire thing as is. While the game includes a variety of content, it currently lacks the freshness and volume expected of a sequel. Well, that's why you do it in early access. Some of this stuff is nonsense. It genuinely, to me, if you want to ask me my opinion, yes, I do firmly believe Krafton was looking for a way to not pay out $250 million bonus. Because if Unknown Studios has popped this game into early access last month, number one, I know damn well I'd be playing it right now for all you lovely ladies and gentlemen. Much like I stay consistent on my gaming streams anyway, but I would be playing it. I'd have bought it. There's a whole mess of people that would have bought it too. Despite there being a whole mess of people, let's see, where is that? Well, some people have things to say about the characters that they showed off in the trailer, in the original teaser trailer, last year? Even though they look quite similar to the original game, but whatever. Even with all of that hoopla around the characters' looks and the speculation of what type of studio Krafton is and who they're associated with, I do firmly believe this game would have knocked it out of the park as far as early access sales. So where does that leave Subnautica 2? Supposedly delayed, if it even hits early access after all this mess, unless they cancel it right out the gate. I would hate to see that. I'm looking forward to this game. With all this mess going around, is Krafton telling the truth? Is Cleveland telling the truth? We'll have to wait and see. Check out early access, see what more develops on this lovely little story and what further development there is in the game Subnautica 2. But for right now, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that YouTubers beg you to do. This scene looks really, really cool. I want to know what that is. But anyway, hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.